Welcome to Fake Gamer Girls. This is a podcast where we look at ourselves on Discord. My name is Erin,
I'm Sam.
I'm Josie.
and we are here with our first ever video episode, and I'm already bothered by how I look and what my headphones are doing with the green screen background. But I
Woot
wore
But
woot.
look at us in our
Fake
gamer
Gamer
rooms,
Girl
our real
merch.
life. Look at
Yeah,
us in
this is
our
my
real
real hacker
rooms.
den.
This
This
is
is
my
my
real
hacker
cyber
den.
city that I float
That's Erin's
above.
penthouse.
I just kind of hover above a foggy purple city at all times.
It's your crib.
It's my crib. So,
Yes.
it's October, and Josie had a good idea for an episode. Josie, what are we doing today?
We're going to be talking about things from our childhood that basically scared the crap out of us. Like, obviously, video game related things, but it's sort of an umbrella of like, just like things that were like, ugh, when you're a little kid and like things
Ugh.
are scary.
Things that are not actually scary. I don't know, though. Some of mine, I feel like,
Mine
are
are a little scary,
actually
yeah.
frightening. We also have
Mine
some. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, mine are kind of scary.
Mine are scary too. I was gonna say we also have some responses from the our Instagram followers of things that scared them that we'll read at the end instead of the "What are you playing?" section.
Yeah, so follow our
So
Instagram if you
follow
want to
our
be featured on an
Instagram.
episode.
True. Okay, I'm gonna go first. So let me share my screen. Let's make sure it works.
Finally, we can actually show the audience what we're screen sharing.
Oops, just accidentally opened Discord. Okay, let's make sure that we can still see it on the recording. Yes,
Oh
we
my!
can. Sorry, everybody. I'm just ah.
This image that I'm looking at, I remember.
I told you it was gonna trigger a deep fear memory in your
Yeah, it
psyche.
definitely is.
So
I didn't care what that is.
So, this first one is actually the scariest thing ever in the world ever created by mankind. So, Sam and I were early 2000s kids. Josie was born in the early 2000s, so she was pretty little. This game came out in 2005. It
Hmm.
was on PBS Kids Go, which was the PBS Kids like website with interactive games. And there were some genuinely really fun games on there, and this was definitely the era of like flash games. So this game was called You're in Charge. And it was part of a larger PBS Kids like series of like shows and articles and games that was called It's My Life. And it was like designed to basically teach like kids who were kind of like almost like tweens like life skills. Um so this game was called You're in Charge, and it was a very short flash game that you would play as like an older sibling home alone with your little brother. And you have like a note from your mom with instructions, and you have to like do what she says and keep you and your little brother safe while you're home alone. Um, and it was so scary. This
It was
To
terrifying.
me, this game had the same effect that the movie When a Stranger Calls. You know
I
that
was
movie?
just about to say that. I was about to
So,
say this is straight up when a stranger
uh
calls
huh.
for
Have
children.
Have you ever seen When a Stranger Calls, Josie? So it's a horror
No,
movie
You would
about
like it.
it's a
it sounds
fun
awesome already.
horror movie, but it's about a girl who's babysitting and like is literally like terrorized by a killer basically, and is she's like a teenage girl babysitting. And so I think every teenage girl who watched that movie who babysat from that point on was always like, anytime the phone rang, you're like
Well,
Uh-uh.
and that's like
Yeah,
I think one of the original like lines where it's like the call is coming from
from
inside the
inside the
Yeah, which
house.
spoiler
house.
alert for When a Stranger Calls, it's coming from inside the house. That's where that is from.
Why would you spoil it? I was gonna go watch it. Hold on, I'm adding it to my letterbox.
So this game was, yeah, it was designed to be like, hey, being alone can be a little bit dangerous. So let me read you. So I've got like three screenshots
Is,
from the game here. Sorry, Josie, were you saying something?
is this like an old movie?
When a
It's not
Stranger
like
Calls?
super
It's probably like
old.
the early 2000s.
Okay, it looks like there's like a few different versions
Mm.
from. like one from the 70s and then one from
Mm.
2006.
No, the 2006 one is definitely what I'm talking about. But so
That's okay, I added it.
this is the intro. So actually, this game is like not on PBS Kids anymore, but thanks to the Wayback Machine, which is like the Internet Archive,
Oh,
I was
shout out to
able
the
to play
Wayback
this.
Machine.
So I played this like an hour ago, and
Oh gosh.
I'm in broad daylight. I am 24 years old. I do live in my own apartment, and I was still a little bit like, so
Scary.
okay, so the game starts. It says, the big cheese, aka mom, is at the office. You are in charge of the house and your little bro. You'll earn points when you act responsibly and lose a few when you don't. See how high you can score before mom gets home at 7 p.m. And then you can like click on like objects. You can like turn the TV on. You can use the phone. You can answer the door. So then I realized that it's only 2 hours. Like when we played this game as a kid, I swear it was like a weekend that your mom was gone. Like it felt so long.
Yeah.
The actual runtime of one playthrough of this game is 2.5 minutes.
Nice.
It is so short. So it's also somewhat randomly generated. So you're in this living room. It's just a living room. And there's like a window that you have to shut. You can turn the TV on. You can turn like the speakers on. You can give your brother like Coke or cake or an apple. You have to make him do his math homework. And then you're supposed to, like, your mom leaves you a note and it says things like, call me to check in. So you're supposed to call her and you get points if you call her and you say, hi, mom. And then she leaves you money for pizza to call a pizza order. And she says, I only like veggie pizza. And so you call the pizza place and if you order like large pepperoni, you get points taken off for not remembering your mom's order. And if you order like you order a veggie pizza, you get points. And then she says things like, make sure to shut the window. Make sure to keep the door locked. A little TV is okay, but keep the volume down. And then it also says like, remember our family code word is Luna. So like if a stranger comes to you and says, my mom sent me to check on you, you say, what's the code word? And if they know the code word, then they're a safe adult, which is like a pretty common practice. But so there's some level of like random events in this game. So I played it through it probably 10 times and only once did I get this specific event, which I have a screenshot of, so if you leave the window open, you just don't like you don't lose points, you gain points when you close the window. But if you leave the window open, sometimes this face, it's these red sinister eyes will peek in the window and they start looking around like side to side, and that's your first warning to close the window. And if you wait after that, two hands appear on the windowsill and it just sits there, this evil home invader.
I see it in the picture.
It's terrifying in the picture. I will
Ew.
say nothing happens beyond that. So there is no like game over, you got murdered by the freaking hash-slinging slasher, but
Literally the hash-slinging slasher.
it's
Like that's what it looks
so
like.
scary. And then there's just other events that were pretty scary. Sometimes people will knock on the door and be like, hey, is your mom home? And if you say no, then it's like, remember, never tell a stranger that you're home alone. And the same with, I did a screenshot here, someone will call and be like, I'm so-and-so from the loan agency. Can I talk to your mom or dad? And if you say they're not home, you get like this big warning. Never tell strangers on the phone that you're home alone.
Oh gosh.
There's also at one point, so there's also a warning on the note that your mom gives you that says, keep your brother away from the fireplace. And so you can drag your brother around. Like in this screenshot, he's sitting in front of the TV, which is fine. But if you leave him and he gets bored, like if you don't interact with him, he'll move and sit right in front of the fireplace. And if you don't catch him fast enough, he like goes like in like ash. Like he gets covered in ash and his hair sticks straight up. And as a kid, I was like,
becomes a ghost.
well, literally as a kid, I was like, I thought that meant he burned himself. Like he got charcoalified. now today when I played it, there's like a message that pops up and it's like, now he's all dirty from playing in the fireplace, and you can clean him up with like paper towels. But
Died.
I
He
and
That
died
child
from
is not
charcoal.
alive
almost it
anymore.
literally, and his hair sticks like straight up like he got like exploded. So it's this game was so frightening, and I feel like, yes, are these valuable lessons to teach a child? And like, yes, don't answer the phone and don't open the door for strangers and close the windows when you're home alone. But also, what
Also
the
traumatize
freak?
them to teach them that
Like,
Yeah,
for
lesson.
real, I remember.
scary.
Maybe this is why to this day, sometimes if I look at, this is the cringiest thing I'm ever gonna admit on this podcast. So I don't do this as much anymore. But when I was a
It's okay. Yeah.
teenager, I would be in front of like a window at night, and you know when you're in front of a window and you can't see out because it's dark. If I was feeling really paranoid, I would flip the window off.
No, because I get that.
Because I would be like, I don't think there's anybody out there watching me, but if there is, they'll think that I know.
You
That they're
know,
out,
and
like, I got you. I
You
owned
or
it.
sometimes
I
you
owned
just
that home invader.
sometimes you just gotta go like this.
Exactly. For our audio listeners, Josie is opening her eyes like a fish,
Really wide and staring
intensely.
straight at the camera.
So,
And then they go, "Ugh, you're weird," and then they won't want to kill me.
yeah, and so
They go, "Ugh, you're weird. Never mind."
once the home invader in this game puts their hands in the window, you can still close the window at any point.
And then they go, "Ouch, ouch, ouch,
No,
my
and
fingies."
nothing happens, and they just go away. But still,
I will say this game must have affected you more than it affected me because if you had a gun to my head and were like trying to make me remember something like this, I would probably not be able to remember it until you showed me these images. And now I'm like, oh yes,
it was so
I
scary,
remember
though,
this,
right?
and it was scary.
It was
Yes,
so scary. So
yeah, very terrifying. Especially like being older siblings and having younger siblings and sometimes being left alone with them, being like,
uh-huh.
well, we gotta watch out for the man in the window.
Well, and
Like,
seriously, and Josie and I shared a room for like 10 years. And
Yeah.
I remember a few nights. This was before I knew I had an anxiety disorder, but like I remember being like 10 years old and Josie is like 5. And I would be like, I gotta stay up and make sure nobody breaks in to kill Josie.
oh gosh.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
That's a mentally ill child right there. So
But you were so real. You were saving me.
and I never saved you once from any kind of danger.
Oh
I
my
definitely
god.
like. I didn't ever play this, but I feel like I definitely have some like pretty crazy like window and home invasion paranoia.
Yeah, which is pretty normal as a kid, I think, because it's just like
But like now, I still
nighttime.
do. Like
Maybe you
Yeah.
did play this.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
should
I feel
play
like it
this
would
game
freak
and
me
learn
out.
safety tips.
Anyway,
Yeah, learning some safety tips.
it is a super easy game for the record. My first playthrough, I got 26 points, which is the maximum points, just by not giving my full security number to a frickin' stranger on the phone, basically. Okay,
Nice.
so that's You're in
Incredible.
Charge. Scariest thing ever created by
Yup,
humankind.
I believe it.
Okay, my next thing.
Ah.
No, I want to see the preview Discord. I'm trying to record a podcast. Okay. So, my next thing is sort of 2 games, and this was something really, really upsetting to me as a child and frightening. So the first thing, we'll start with this. So a game that we played a lot on the GameCube was Sonic Adventure 2, the director's cut specifically. But it had the Chow Garden in it, and there are a few other Sonic games that have the Chow Garden, but Chows are like these little, like, gushy, squishy little guys, and they can like run in races and swim around, and you hatch them out of eggs, and it's just sort of like a pet thing. But there is an element of death, so if you neglect your chows, they can die. And not reincarnate. A healthy chow will die, but just rebirth into like a new egg. But a neglected chow will like turn into this gray cocoon and pass away forever.
I don't remember
I
that.
don't know that we ever really had that happen,
Because
but
all we did was go in the Chow
because we
Garden.
neglected the rest of the gameplay for the Chow
Yeah,
Garden.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
True.
Exactly.
I will say, I saw this hilarious meme the other day that made me remember this that said, "What if we cased in the Chow Garden?" And there was just a picture of like
I
the
saw
really
something like
crappy
that.
graphics
There are
of
like
it.
these like super polygonal like pointy creatures.
They're
Yes,
They're
cute though.
so cute
they're
though.
cute.
Um,
Twin loves chows.
yeah, that's our brother from the last episode. Um,
We have a brother.
Oh my gosh.
the listeners know now. He's been on the production.
Yup,
So,
Yeah.
okay,
yup.
so for anybody looking at the stream right now, you'll see that it says goodbye because there was an option in the computer to send a chow away to the farm,
You
basically.
probably only had like a certain amount of spots, right, for chows?
Yeah, I think you could only have like a dozen or something, you know. So there is, and like if people like, I think adults that play these kind of games still like they do get really into the chow breeding, and you can get like shinies and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of an intense thing. So I can see why someone is like, I want to free up a spot. But as a child, I just was so attached to these little mother effers. And it says here, goodbye. Chow will have a happy life in a faraway forest. You will never see your Chow again.
Again.
And that sentence,
And the picture
and
is like
it's
a
like
sad, like, what is it called?
it's got a
Like a
bindle.
Bindle?
It
runaway.
has a
He's carrying
bindle.
a sad bindle and looking over his shoulder
Like,
sadly at
no,
you.
literally, like a
It's desperate.
runaway child from a cartoon from the 30s. It's got a stick bindle and it's looking back at you with these big
Like, it
puppy
literally
eyes.
looks exactly like the ant with the bindle picture.
Exactly, the meme. Um, and it also, this screen played very sad music.
No, it
Like,
did.
it was very like, do 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 do, goodbye to you. You know, it wasn't singing, but it felt like that. Like, it felt
It
like
was
it was
like
like,
it's like funeral music.
I'm not kidding. And when I was looking this up, it I was looking up like Chow goodbye on to try and find a good image, and like one of the first things was a SoundCloud link to the Chow goodbye music.
Oh my
So if
gosh.
anybody is trying to see just how sad this music was, so yes, this was traumatic to me, and I thought this related really well to Neopets. So
Oh
Neopets had a
gosh.
very similar mechanic that was the Neopian pound. Um, and it was also kind of like this, where Neopets, like, people do take their Neopets seriously even to this day. Like, again, you can like breed your Neopets and get like shinies and fancy stuff and special stuff. And um, there was this mechanic of going to the pound, and you could, so like you can see it on the right side of my screen here. There's a side of the pound that says adopt, and it's like a unicorn that says adopt today, and then the right side says abandon. And it's and that lizard man, there's like a lizard man that kind of looks like Albert Einstein. Do you remember his name? Because I didn't.
No.
His name is Dr. Death.
Oh
His
gosh.
Ah!
name is literally Dr. Death. And underneath him, there is a picture of like a crying Neopet in the rain that says, "Don't disown your poor Neopet."
No.
And then
Abandoned.
and then once you enter the adoption center, like this is like the front desk, there are 3 doors. There's one that says adopt, one that says transfer, and one that says abandon. Adopt is pink and sparkly with flowers on it. Transfer is a little weird. It's like this metal door with like a red window on it, and it's like metal. And then abandon is like a navy blue dilapidated door with spider webs on it and like a piece of cardboard like hanging askew that says abandon on it. So
Oh my
And
they
it's
gosh.
just like
really,
black emptiness in the window.
uh-huh. And then
Like it's
once,
just a dark closet.
it's terrifying. And then once you enter, you click, you know, you're like, I gotta get rid of one of my Neopets, I guess. You click this, and a screen will pop up with your Neopets with messages. You have to click these buttons to abandon your Neopet. Let me just read you what it says. Throw me away. Get rid of me. kick me out and leave me to die. Leave me to die.
It's like, no, you're at least in the Chow Garden, it's like they'll have a happy life. And this one's like your Neopet will die.
You're
Yeah, oh
leaving them
yeah,
to
you want to run
die.
your Neopet over with a bus? Go ahead.
Oh
Yeah, we're gonna animate
wow.
it for you actually.
That is rough.
You have to watch an animation of you stabbing your Neopet.
That
No,
is so
literally. And then you
rough.
have to
Leave
eat
me
its
to
body.
die.
Leave me to die. Throw me away. Leave me to die. You know what? And it's horrific. It's too much for a little old child like me who ended up here
Yeah.
on accident. I was never going to abandon a Neopet ever. Never.
But
I would have literally
the
killed myself.
but
But
the thought of
man,
actually they were like, you know what would be hilarious if we traumatized some kids.
and like, okay, part of me gets it. Like, I do feel like there is some value in, like, Neopets is like a simulated pet. So, like, teaching a kid, like, if you have a real pet, you cannot just abandon it. Like, if you had a real pet and you were like, bye, Fluffy, like, you are kind of leaving it to die. Like, that's not a
Yeah,
cool
true.
or safe thing to do. But still, man, cut me some freaking slack. What
I
the
am I
grief?
am eight.
As if
No,
the
for
children that
real.
have pets are the ones making the major decisions about whether or not they're going to
Also
keep those
true.
pets.
Also true.
Yeah.
Usually the kids are like, please, mommy, no, please,
I
let me
want to
keep my
keep
puppy.
her.
But yeah, so I guess if anybody ever wants to abandon your Neopet, go call Dr. Death
They call Dr.
and
Death.
say, I
Go
would
call
like to
Dr. Death.
leave my Neopet to die.
Oh
Yup.
my
Good luck with
gosh.
that.
Absolutely insane.
We aren't
And
helping you.
I bet you, I'm pretty sure the Neopets like had different expressions as well.
Yeah,
Like
they're
I'm
all very sad in this picture.
okay, I can't really see super
It's
well,
a
but
really low res picture. I couldn't find a better screenshot, but yeah, they were like frowning about to cry. They
yeah,
are
they're
looking
like,
at you
we're
like,
about to like, how
"Mother,
could you do this
please.
to me?
Mommy, mommy, what have I done?" So,
Oh my gosh.
traumatizing. That's all I have for you guys.
Incredible. Okay, I do feel like
Great.
I know I'm not next, but after seeing yours, I'm a little bit like, oof, mine are not that bad.
I feel like mine weren't scary so much as just stressful, which is the scariest thing in my opinion, is being stressed out. So,
True.
Mine are kind of the opposite. Hold on.
yeah, Josie's I think are more spooky ooky, so.
Yeah,
Yes.
mine are definitely more on the stressful vein of things.
I mean,
So,
Okay, it's my
yeah,
turn, right?
we didn't play a lot of
yeah.
horror games as kids. Yeah, go ahead, share your screen, Jess. We didn't play a lot of horror games as children, so I do think a lot of our scarier experiences were more like, I am anxious.
hmm
All right.
Okay. So my first one, I it is Sonic.exe for the listeners. And I guess the watchers, if you don't know what the freak this scary picture of Sonic is.
Sonic with bleeding eyeballs.
So for those of you who are not familiar with creepypasta or what creepypasta is, it's basically like online forums or like web series or like just like online stories that you find on like Reddit or 4chan back in like the 2010s, like early 2010s kind of. And it's just scary stories. Some of them are fan stories of like real things. Some of them are original stories. Like Slender Man is originally a creepypasta. Like everybody knows who Slender Man is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jeff the Killer is an original creepypasta.
The sexiest one.
Yes, yes, and the sexiest one of them all. Uh, but one of those creepypastas was a Sonic fan creepypasta called Sonic.exe. And if you don't know what a .exe file is, it's just a type of download that you can get on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know why they went with exe. Like I don't know if it's more famous for being like virusy
It's just more
or something.
spooky sounding.
It's more spooky sounding. It's like .exe, like, you know.
Ew, X is probably the
So
scariest letter, honestly.
that's
So
actually true because X means you died.
X is like on
So
your
Yeah.
eyes when you pass away.
Yes,
X's
that does
marks the
happen.
spot for treasure, actually.
It marks a
So
spot for where you're
Yes.
gonna be buried.
maybe so.
Yeah.
So sorry,
Hmm.
I'm looking at the wiki if it I'm just like right now. But the origin story, so this is how a lot of the video game fan creepypasta started, is that essentially you're getting a video game and you're like, I'm so excited to play my new video game, and then it turns out you got an evil copy of the
It's
video
usually
game.
like secondhand. Like I got it from an estate
Some
sale or like a
evil secondhand
I got it from a
copy. Yes.
sketchy website for free.
Yes, basically. So this one, the very first Sonic EXE story is about a kid named Tom, and he gets
That's
a
my name.
CD.
Tom.
Yeah, he gets a
Yeah,
CD
this is
from his friend
Tom.
Kyle, and his friend Kyle is like, "You gotta destroy this disc, man. Don't play this disc. Like, I'm serious. Like, don't play it. You have to
Kyle, why
destroy
don't
it."
you destroy it, Kyle?
Kyle said, "This is your problem now."
And it's not like
I don't
CDs
know.
are hard to destroy. We destroyed CDs on accident as children. They're like paper
Yeah.
thin.
So I
Yeah.
guess Tom says, "Eh," and then he plays it anyways.
This is
He's
the
like,
plot
And
of Jumanji and Zathura.
yeah.
which are great movies, by the way.
And also Scary
Um,
as Rick.
They're
and
also
also very
extremely scary.
scary. Yup, yup. Okay, so he plays it. It starts as normal Sonic the Hedgehog, but you're playing as Tails, I'm pretty sure. And then
Yeah,
it
that
starts
Mhm.
I
getting
think
a
that's
little
right.
creepy. There's weird things happening. There's like weird little bloody spots on the floor.
And the music is like
And
sounding kind of effed up.
yeah, and the music is getting a little distorted, and he's like, "Oh, what the heck is wrong with Sonic?" And then it gets evil, and it becomes evil Sonic. And like Sonic is regular Sonic, but instead of his sclera being white, it's black, and his pupils are red, glowing eyes, and he is crying blood.
It's
Uh,
Yeah,
like if Sonic
that's
was
scary, bro.
evil.
So
oh
it's basically
no.
just like creepy stuff starts happening in Sonic, and it says like the company is Sega 666. Ooh, fake Sonic.
Oh,
Um,
Satan
and
Scary.
so
Sonic.
yep,
It's
evil
like if
Sonic.
Sonic was the devil,
Yep,
the
yep.
Christian
So I
devil.
I was a very casual creepypasta consumer as a kid. I was not that into it
I was
because it
into
scared
it.
me too much. But I would watch the videos. I would watch YouTube videos. And somebody eventually made a game of Sonic.exe. So they made it like a real version of it that
Oh
you could
no.
actually
Yeah.
play, which is where all these pictures come from. So shout out to whoever made the fan made game because it's actually pretty well done. Um, but I like would watch like people play it and I was like, Sonic is evil. So that's
Sonic,
actually how I
no.
first came across Sonic.exe was the actual fan made game. And
Like you wouldn't
I
play it, you just watched people play it?
no, because I did not know how to like get anything on a computer, and it was like a computer
Yeah.
download. So
Yeah.
so I did not play it ever. But yeah, I would like watch people play it. I would kind of watch those like silent playthroughs, so it's like scary. It feels like
Mm.
you're playing it because like nobody's talking. And so,
Yeah.
Spooky.
but yeah, it's funny when I look at like the wikis now and I'm reading all the lore because there's like so much stuff I just did not know as a kid. Like there's so much more lore to these creepy pastas. Like it's telling me right here that Sonic.exe is an eldritch entity taking on the form of Sonic the Hedgehog,
Whoa.
which
Incredible.
Put
I
that
don't
in
know
your Tinder
why.
bio.
Why would an eldritch entity choose that?
You know, maybe that's they really like Sonic
They
as
said,
as a
Sonic
kid.
is the scariest character
Scariest video
ever,
game I
so
can think of is this blue guy that go fast. Blue guy go
he's
fast. More
scary.
like eek scary.
So true.
But
You,
yeah, he just like slowly kills all the other Sonic characters through the game. And it was scary as a kid. I personally don't think I was ever that scared of Sonic.exe because I had already seen a lot of the other games in this genre, like the Haunted Super Mario stuff, where it's like, okay, this is the same thing
Mm-hmm.
for the millionth time. Sonic.exe was definitely one of the bigger ones of the like creepy video games. So, like, I don't know if it was one of the original ones, but like giving credit where credit's due, Sonic.exe was a pioneer of its time.
I think it is
So
honestly one of the most famous ones. Like,
it's definitely one of the most famous like
it's
creepypasta
probably
video
one
games.
of like two that I could think of by name. So,
You know what
Yeah.
this reminds me of is when I was watching Matt play Celeste when he was here.
uh huh.
And in Celeste, you can go into like this, you can basically unlock evil Celeste. Or I
Yeah,
guess that's not her name. Her name's like
it's Madeline.
Madeline.
So it's her.
Yeah, so
The
you
evil version is literally called Battlein.
Oh, okay, yeah. And she just it's a platformer game, but like what she does is she chases you and
Mm-hmm.
directly mirrors what you do. So like you basically like have to try to like get through the level knowing that someone's gonna chase you and you can't like really go back to where you were because this evil
And you
Scary.
can't like
version is gonna
stop.
get
You have
you.
to keep moving.
Yeah, you can't stop at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched him play that and I was like, this is kind of scary. Like
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a pretty big mechanic in Celeste is this Battlein that literally chases you around. So
Yeah.
she
Yeah, they kind of
reappears
have
quite a
a
few
mechanic.
times.
Like one of the only things I can remember like vividly about Sonic.exe is that like when you're Tails, you're like running and then it gets scary. And then evil Sonic is like chasing you, but he's faster than you, so
Because
you have
he's
to keep
Ah.
running, but he gets closer and closer and then you die. So
dang, maybe that's the real scary thing about Sonic is that since he's the fastest
he's
thing
always
ever,
faster.
he's always gonna catch you.
No, I
Yeah.
want you to know that one of his quotes listed on this website is "You're too slow."
You're too slow.
So he says that when
Scary.
he kills you.
That's what Sonic says in general all the time.
This is, and then one last note on Sonic.exe. His most famous quote is, "I am God."
Oh my gosh.
That's gonna
I
be
love
my
it.
famous quote when I die one
Oh,
day. I'll be like, Aaron was
can't
always
argue with that.
saying, I am God.
Who are we to
Yeah,
argue?
so true.
Sonic.exe, you are. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Scary.
Okay, moving on. This is very similar, but it's way better. Okay, yep. Oh,
It's still Sonic. Oh,
Yeah,
we just got jump scared by this freaky
I know.
picture.
Ben freaking drowned, bruh. Ben drowned. For those of you who don't know who Ben drowned is,
I
let's
don't.
go back.
I
It
was gonna
is Legend of
say,
Zelda.
well, sorry, Sam. Do you have any exposure to
No,
Yeah,
I
either of
is this
these?
literally
familiar at all?
no. This is a child in a Link costume with bleeding
What's
eyeballs.
with
That's
the
what.
crying blood and all the creepy pastas? That's so funny to
It
me.
was a
Because
classic, yeah.
I remember being like 13 on my iPod Touch, like Googling like creepy pasta Ben drowned and reading it and being like, ooh,
Yeah, same.
scary.
Yeah, I have no
So
exposure to this.
that's funny. So Ben drowned is obviously a Legend of Zelda creepypasta, specifically Majora's Mask. I don't think that's how you say it, but that's how I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry.
That's how everybody says it.
Um, yeah, I figured, but Ben Drowned is another video game creepypasta. Essentially, in the story, the kid literally is at like a garage sale, and the guy's like, "You want to buy this copy of Majora's Mask?" So he's
Which
like,
is a red
"Yes, yes,
flag.
I want to play this game. I love Majora's Mask."
If this was
So
actually
you
real, it would just be like someone's creepy porno. But anyway,
like, yeah, like
No, it's
check this guy's hard
haunted.
drive, y'all.
it's haunted.
It's
Um,
haunted.
So he gets it and then he goes and he plays it. And in Legend of Zelda, you have three save slots, and one of the save slots is taken and it is under the name Ben. Yup, yup.
Oh no.
Who? Who? Bend
That's
over?
that's the scariest
Yeah.
Come
name,
on. Like,
actually. If your name is Ben,
yup,
you're
yup.
scary as frick.
We got Tom in the
So,
last one. We got Ben in this
And
one.
Kyle in the
And
last one.
Kyle.
so Ben is basically like a haunted child spirit that's haunting this cartridge, and I guess he drowned. That's why he's named Ben Drowned or something.
I guess he
I
drowned.
I
I'm
guess he
honestly not.
drowned.
I thought I was more familiar with the lore than I was, but reading this wiki page, I'm like, I don't know what any of these words are or what this means. But apparently, the Ben Drowned story was active from 2010 to 2012, and then it came back in 2020 and concluded. So
Oh.
Oh.
Yes, very fun fact. So, um, yeah, basically it's this little creepy Link statue in the game that will like randomly teleport and start messing up your game. And
Mm.
this is really scary as a child because there are like it's actually this one is one of the better creepypastas because it's really in depth. It's a web series and it's an ARG, which is an alternate reality game. So you essentially have to put the puzzle together yourself by using clues that they put around the internet. And that like, you just go find it and you figure out the story on your own. It's like a really interesting thing. And this one is really good because they actually had videos made
I was gonna say I
of,
remember screenshots and
yes,
videos.
there are videos of people playing and then like Ben shows up and it ruins your game and like creepy stuff happens and there's like actual videos of like that happening in the game. And that when I saw that and I was like literally the exact same thing as Aaron at like late at night, I'm on
Mm-hmm.
my iPad looking at these wiki pages and watching these scary videos of this game that we have in the other room. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, why is that happening? That's gonna happen to me because I'm watching these
So
videos. Like,
scary.
and the worst part is that Majora's Mask without Ben Drowned
It's
already scary as all freak. Like,
it is
this is a scary
terrifying.
game. This game is like, if you've ever played Twilight Princess Legend of Zelda, this game is scarier than Twilight
Oh
Princess.
yeah.
This is the scariest Zelda
Is
game
this the
ever.
one with the moon with the creepy face?
Yes, this is the
Mm-hmm.
scary moon face. This is the happy mask salesman. Like,
Uh,
which I have a whole other scary trauma lore about the happy mask salesman. So,
Like we could just do a whole episode on Majora's Mask just being the
Being
worst,
scary.
scariest
but
thing ever
it's
made.
scary and like watching the video specifically is what really scared me. Ben Drowned, I think, is the first horror character scary game creepypasta thingy that ever really, really scared me. Like even Slender Man, I was like, oh, that's creepy, but I don't live anywhere near woods or anything, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
like genuine fear. But like Ben Drowned, like when I close my eyes, he's over my bed. Like,
Oh
I
gosh.
really like
he's
that.
right there.
I was
He's right
afraid
there.
of this
So
too, but I don't even feel like in the Ben Drowned stories, again, this was. It's funny you said 2010 to 2012 because I would have been 13 in 2012, so I was like definitely a tween. Anyway, I feel like in all the stories, I remember it just being like, and he glitches out your game, and I was like,
yeah, like what does he even
now
do?
I'm like, what? Okay, that sucks. I guess like
He's honestly just
that's
really creepy looking. Like
he
not
is
even like the
scary.
bloody eye picture is creepy, but the statue just like showing up, I was like,
It's
nah,
definitely it's like spooky,
nah.
but I feel like with
But like
Slender
he's not
Man,
coming to kill you.
yeah, with Slender Man, they'd be like, and then if you don't get all the things, he will come get you. Like in
Yeah,
real
yeah.
life. And with Ben Drowned, it was like, and he deletes your save file if you don't get away. Which I'm
The
like,
scariest thing for
this game was on like the
gamers.
N64. Save files were getting
Yeah,
deleted left and right anyway. We didn't have a memory
like,
card for
yeah,
our
true.
GameCube for like
To
10
be fair,
years.
to be fair though, the way they chose specifically Majora's Mask was so genius because that game is already so scary.
Mm-hmm.
Literally in the first like 10 minutes of the game, Skull Kid is like, I just killed your horse.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just
That
kidnapped and
whole
killed your horse,
that
by
whole
the
game,
way.
man.
It's just such a scary
And
game,
the
but it's so
noise
good.
that Link makes when he puts on or takes off a mask, he's like
It's like he's screaming in
in
agony.
pain. He's like,
Oh
time to put on my
Yes, like
mask, which is the main mechanic of this game, so you have to do it all the time. And yeah, he screams like that.
literally like that. It's crazy. And it's like this nasty transformation cutscene. Like that
That's
game's
so
scary, but it's a good game
Worst
though.
game ever.
okay.
But
And
I'm
I
gonna show you one oh, keep going.
no, I was just gonna say like I was maybe a little too old for this because I would have been in high school when this was like ending in 2012. But like this reminds me of like I just think it's funny that you say like nothing happens because did you guys ever get those like email chains or were you probably
Uh-huh.
too young? Maybe Aaron, you got
Yes.
them.
I
You
got
I
get
them.
got I
emails.
got it on text and Instagrams.
Oh, text.
Like
Okay, I would get emails because my friends and I didn't have cell phones like in elementary
Mm-hmm.
school and middle school. Like I didn't get a phone until like seventh or eighth grade. And so like we would get emails and it would be like, if you don't forward this to 20 people right now, Mickey Mouse will come and scoop your eyes out with spoons. And it was like, and it's like,
I
that was
yeah,
like like a very scary thing for me as
And
a
it
child.
always
But
would have a picture attached too of like
yeah,
it
yeah,
would be
It's
like
like a
someone
scary
Googled
picture.
creepy Mickey Mouse and
yeah,
then they
creepy
would
Mickey
attach it
Mouse.
to the
Yeah.
email.
Which like
Yeah.
scary pictures were my kryptonite as a child. Like if you show
Yeah.
me a creepy picture, I'm not going to bed for the next year.
True.
So like
Yeah,
those things
Josie
I
did.
hated those. I would
It's
always
so
like whenever it's like the pictures of puppies and it's like claim this, no one's gonna hurt you. I would be like, yup, yup, yup,
Claimed this
claim,
energy.
claim, claim. Like
It's so funny that Josie's the one that's into like horror movies and horror games now because she was so afraid of things as a
You
child.
were
Like
the biggest
literally.
wuss. Like
no,
seriously.
like my arc has been crazy. I've always liked it. I've always that's why I like was like looking at like Ben Drowned and stuff and like
Uh-huh.
Slenderman. I always liked creepypastas and like I would really try with scary games like Majora's Mask. I would at least watch Quinn play them, but like I didn't touch a horror movie until like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I was
And
always
now you're
really into
goth.
the idea of horror and now I'm like good at it. So
Wait, what's your last thing you were gonna say?
oh, and I'm gonna show you guys what helped me get over my fear of Ben Drowned.
Okay. Oh
Okay.
And
no.
that is sexy Ben Drowned.
Oh,
Yup.
okay.
Incredible.
So, for those of you who are familiar with creepypasta, you may be familiar with the creepypasta fandom,
Uh-huh.
which back in the day was a bunch of tweens who were
They were
going
lonely.
crazy.
They were
Who were going
lonely.
crazy.
And they were thirsting after fictional serial killers and monsters.
Always, always, always. And go look up Jeff the Killer hot fan art. You're gonna
There's
be
a lot of
shocked
hot
if you don't.
Slenderman fan art.
Oh
There's
gosh.
even Hot Slender Man. There's like I can name like so many creepypastas that got sexified. Tumblr Sexy Man Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Drowned, because he's literally just Link, who is like a hot
Everybody
guy,
already
right?
agrees the Link is hot, so.
People would draw
Yeah.
this guy and make him like sexy evil. And seeing all this, like it healed my hatred and fear of Ben Drowned because
I
I was
love
like,
that.
even if like scary Ben Drowned is over my bed, then I can imagine it's hot Ben Drowned, and then I'll be like, hey,
And then you
like you know what I
kiss.
mean?
And then
Yeah.
you smooch
So
him.
this really healed me as a child, and this art is by Kawasi on DeviantArt, by the way.
Amazing.
Incredible.
All right, Sam, take it away.
Okay, all right. Let me get my screen up and shared.
I
Mine
will.
are, I feel like, much less scary than yours because I maybe am just a big baby. I don't.
That is true. You are a big baby, but
All right, let me know if you can see it like in
it says
slide.
scariest things in video games.
Okay, okay. I can't see myself or anything anymore, so this will be. I
Well,
guess I just have to trust what I look like is
I'll tell you if you look
acceptable.
super ugly all of a sudden out of
Okay, okay.
nowhere.
Sounds good.
Sam, you look ugly. You
Okay.
look ugly. You look ugly.
No, no, don't look at
You look beautiful. You're an angel.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Okay.
You're welcome.
gosh. We should all
First
hang
thing.
out or something sometime.
Okay. First thing is moral dilemmas such as hurting someone's feelings slash getting in trouble.
This is still you. We're trying to
Wait,
play
what?
Baldur's Gate, and she's so stressed out about fighting people.
No, I'm not stressed about fighting people. I'm stressed about the disapproves icons when you make
Oh.
a choice.
Astarian disapproves because you literally didn't punch a child,
I
basically.
know. I'm like, oh no, I
No!
disappointed someone.
I'm in trouble.
Okay, so as I feel like these are things that I have talked about on this podcast before, so to our listeners who have been with us forever, I'm so sorry you have to hear about this again unless you want to skip forward. But okay, so I have two examples of this. First one is in a game we've talked about often, which is Harvest Moon Another
I
Wonderful
knew
Life
you were
or
going to
A
talk
Wonderful
about
Life.
this.
Okay, so this is maybe not scary to someone without mental illness, but for me as a child, there is this one interaction. Well, it's actually multiple interactions in Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life or Story Seasons: A Wonderful Life. I'm sure. I don't know if it's actually in Story Seasons. They very well could have cut this, but basically the interaction is so there's a traveling sales named Van who is like kind of like egg shaped, like he's
Always the
like
He's like,
traveling salesman.
yeah, he's
yeah,
literally spherical. Like they made him
yeah,
like a huge round guy.
Straight up in egg shape.
like he
Yeah.
doesn't even have like a neck, like he's just like an
No.
egg shaped like man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he comes in like twice a season to your town. And before he goes to set up his shop, he goes into like the hotel or the whatever.
The inn.
The inn, yeah. And you can follow him in there and
Well,
then
he's
what?
literally, sorry, this is back to what he looks like. He's literally a Daruma doll, but a man.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So,
With the
anyways,
Yeah.
mustache and
So
everything.
anyway, so you can walk in there and he like a cutscene starts and he starts telling you about like these like it's supposed to be funny, like it's like these ridiculous diets or whatever. Like the one that I saw a clip of was like he's like, I found out that if I spin around my room like a top twice a day then I'll lose weight. And he's talking about these diets, and then when you talk to him you have two options. You have a nice option and a mean option. So like in this screenshot that I'm showing, it's this thing was like, my scale keeps saying I'm only 150 pounds. And so my options were I could say it only goes to 150, like you're maxing it out basically, or congratulations. So those
150
are the
is
two
not that
options.
much.
I know.
For his
I know.
body type, that would be really insane. So
Yeah, yeah, and like this is actually the second one because he has these like diet conversations with you like four times, I think, is what I saw
Mhm.
online. So I only ever got the first one, and I remember just saying like he says like does it look like I've lost weight? And you can basically say yes or no. And I, as a child, was having a lot of moral dilemmas about like should I be honest or should I be nice? You know,
Because
like
you're like, don't lie, but
yeah,
also
lying is bad,
it's a
but also
complicated thing for a child.
so I said, no, you don't look like you've lost weight. I opted for honesty at that time. And it's like the music cuts off. He does like dot 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 dot, gets super sad, and then he's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll have to keep trying or something.
oh my gosh!
It's
And then
so sad.
he walks away, and then you have to like go buy stuff from him that same day, you know? And
Ugh.
he doesn't like bring it up or anything. Like it's not like it has lasting consequences in the game. But as a child, I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I'm a horrible person. I actually remember my parents were having some kind of party
It was
that
like a
night.
Christmas party with
Like
all their
Christmas.
friends.
And I start bawling my eyes out. And I walked up the stairs bawling. And some of
Oh
their
my
friends were like, what
gosh.
happened? And I was like, I was mean to someone on a video game. And they were kind of like, oh, okay, you weird
How old
kid.
were you?
I don't know,
I
like
mean, you were
probably like
little.
10, maybe
That's
Yeah.
so
younger.
funny.
I also
But
remember this. And I remember trying to be like, it's okay, don't cry, he's not real. And you were like inconsolable.
yeah, I just, this is this was probably like an indicator very early on that like I should have like been checked out for mental illness, but
Yeah, we were all not right.
but anyway, so that's like I was constantly like in fear of hurting someone's feelings in games after that because I was like, oh no, like I will feel horrible. It feels like you actually just told someone in your life something horrible
You
as a
hurt their
child.
feelings.
So I guess that's not that scary, but to me it was scary.
It's scary
So
for a kid.
part two of this first one is getting in trouble. And I've talked about this before, and Aaron knows what's coming. It is stealing in Animal Crossing, the
I made a
original one.
TikTok about this
Yeah, so
forever ago.
basically, this is basically the idea that, oh no.
Sam's
Give me one
battery is
second.
running low.
Oh no.
Okay, can we actually pause for a second so I
Yeah.
can go get my plug? Okay,
Yeah.
one sec. Okay, tell me when to start.
Yeah, go, you're good.
Okay, sorry everyone. So yeah, stealing in Animal Crossing, the first one, really freaked me out as a child because I was convinced that like the real cops were gonna come to our house because we were stealing. But basically, I have a screenshot of it. Um, what you could do, there is like a kind of like a police station. There's like a little wanted sign on top of it,
I
but
don't remember that wanted
yeah,
sign.
but it's like a police station with a lost and found that you could basically go up and the cop follows you around, Booker, and he says like, "Oh, this is what that is. Is it yours?" And then you can be like, "Yup, it's mine," or you can be like, "No, it's not mine." And I think the mechanic of this game was actually meant for you to be able to just like get new stuff.
Yep.
Like just like I think that's
It's
why
like,
they
here's
put that
some
in
cool
there.
stuff for free. Here you go. It's a treat.
But
And it's not like that cool. It's like, this is a shirt with blue stripes. And you'd be like,
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah, pretty much. But like for me as a child, I was like, it's not mine. One of my villagers lost it. Like I'm not taking that. It's
Somebody is
not
coming back
mine.
for that.
Somebody wants it. And Erin did not have those same inhibitions that I did, and she would be like, "Yep, it's mine," and I would freak out and yell at her. And eventually, my mom threw the game away because we could not agree that this was actually okay.
That it was not a morally evil thing to do, which it's not, for the record.
I have apologized before, but I do apologize
It's
for
okay.
my anxiety making us throw away the original version of Animal Crossing, which is probably
I was
worth a
gonna
lot
say,
of
which is
money
worth
now.
money
Yeah.
now.
But yeah, so that is the first concept of just moral dilemmas, very scary to me as a
Very scary.
child.
Hey,
So,
Sam, have you ever heard of the
hmm.
trolley problem?
Oh my gosh, don't even say that to me.
Don't
I'll
cry, don't
cry.
cry, don't cry. I was just kidding.
Okay, and the next thing up is being sneaky.
This is true.
So-
This actually is
This is
true.
actually really true.
okay, so I only have two examples of this. So the first one is also in a Zelda game. It's in Wind Waker.
Which is
Um,
so real.
It was
I
scary.
actually, I honestly didn't really play this game very much. It was the same way that we played Kirby Air Ride to play house. Like, I just wanted to play this game to be on that first island and play house,
Mm-hmm.
like
Grandma
just,
Island.
Yeah, Grandma
yeah, Grandma
Island.
Island.
Yep.
And, but sometimes we would move on and try to go farther. And I actually only ever played parts of this game. I don't remember actually doing a full playthrough
Mm.
and beating it. But in one of the very first, like, islands
It's the
besides Grandma
Forsaken
Island,
Fortress.
Yes, it's the first place you go to. That's not a
yeah,
boat.
you have to
I've
sneak
like
around.
I've tried to replay this game so many times, and I usually just like I'm really bad at committing to games and like finishing them.
True.
But I have played the Forsaken Fortress so many times in my life, and it's still really hard and
It's
scary for me.
scary.
So
Yeah,
it's not
I just
really hard anymore, but it's like still like ugh. Like these guys are creepy and they want to kill you.
yeah, so basically you just have like there's spotlights moving around and you just have to do like a sneak level of like
Yeah.
getting
Because
through
you lose
and
your sword.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
You
you
guys
can't
remember
fight.
better than I do. All I remember is being scared and having to sneak around.
Yeah,
It's
you
that
lose
is
your
it.
sword, so you have no
Yeah.
way to defend yourself, so you have to be stealthy.
Mm. Yeah, so I just remember being really, really freaked out by this and like I think I still did it. Especially at first when we first got the game, I remember doing it. But then eventually you guys got brave and did it yourselves. So just because being the oldest, I think I was the one playing first, and then I
Mm-hmm.
think I was trying to play it cool. Like I'm not really
Right.
freaked
We'd
out
be
by
like, we
this.
can't beat
But
this. Sam, you have to beat it. You're the big kid.
yeah,
You
and I
are
would be
like
like,
9.
yeah.
Like, Sam, you're
um,
super mature. You're 8.5.
yeah, seriously.
Yep.
There's another game where you have to be sneaky, and that's Brett's video game. This is Brett's Rock Angels.
This picture is
Scary.
crazy.
She be
Because
sneaking.
basically in Bratz Rock Angels, you have to sneak in, you have to dress up as one of the Tweevils and sneak into the office
And, like,
and
steal
get
stuff.
some paperwork and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But like there's like an icon for Berdine that showed like I think she
She's,
was either
I think she's
asleep or
taking, yeah, she's asleep at her desk, and you can't wake
yeah.
her up.
Yeah, so there was like an icon showing like how close you were getting to her and if you were gonna wake her up and stuff. And I don't know. I just remember being real freaked out by this and just like not freaked out, but like stressed out.
Yeah.
Like
I
this
mean,
was something.
yeah, these stealth levels were designed to be stressful. Like it's like in lieu of any action-packed gameplay, you just are going to be really tense. So
Yeah,
I
just
guess
like
it worked. Good job,
yeah. And I'm
designers.
pretty sure that if you did like get too close or get caught by her, it would just black out and start you over. Like
Uh-huh.
there's no
They're
like
scary.
screaming or anything, but like yeah, anyway, so mine I guess I didn't have very much to talk about with my
Yours
two,
are good.
but
You
yeah,
guys
those are the
remember?
things that scared me.
Do you guys remember the kissing games on like Girls Go
Yes.
Games?
Yes. Some of
Yes.
them were scary because you would get in trouble if you got caught kissing.
Trouble if they caught you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Those
Yeah.
where you'd literally have to make out with somebody until someone walks in the room, and then you have to stop. You know,
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
weird kind of game.
Yeah, I know. Who thought of
Now
that?
that
Who
you
was
think
like, you
about
know
it,
what's
to
good
put
for
on like
kids?
these children's websites. It was weird.
Yeah, it is
But
weird.
Okay, so I have some responses from our Instagram here.
ooh,
And we do have a few that were duplicates from several people, so I thought that was
Okay.
really funny that
okay, I'm scared.
so we got this response twice. The Redeads from Ocarina of Time. We got that
Mm.
from Play Along
Yes,
Pod and Bob McForman. Both, yes, scary. They're those
yes.
zombies that
Those are the ones that
scream
hug
and
you,
they
right?
hug your face. Yeah, yeah, they're terrifying. They're terrifying. Zombies in
Yeah, they're
general.
literally zombies that like strangle you to death,
Oh, I've
basically.
never played that game, so I
Oh,
have no.
They're
it's
really
very
creepy looking
scary.
too.
And
It's
I
like
had to
unironically.
go ahead.
Sorry, you keep going.
Who's gonna talk?
You.
I had to fight the Redeads for Quinn in Ocarina
I
of
remember
Time.
that.
Because
Yes,
he
because
Okay.
even
had
Quinn couldn't do
well, and
them.
he had a very specific zombie phobia as a
Yes,
kid.
Quinn was really
So
scared of them, which made me
any
really scared of them.
yeah, so anything like undead, I had to like get in there and handle it for him.
Oh
But like
no.
I'm looking at pictures of them, like these things are cool as freak. Like this is like really good creature design. Just
Okay,
saying.
nerd. Okay, nerd.
It's cool. It's like wooden head with like it's like really cool. I'm sorry. These things are
No, they're
awesome. They're
freaky.
really scary though, and they are evil and scary.
We have
Mm.
another response about a Zelda game, The Silent Realms from Skyward Sword. Also scary. I actually just replayed Skyward Sword like last year and was infuriated by how terrible the gameplay is in that game. And also scared of the Silent Realms big
So
time.
funny. Like Zelda games are scary.
They
I know,
are.
apparently.
Well, and two people responded. Oh, sorry, that was Wondro Woman who said that. And then from Megatron 985 and Emma Rose Corey both said Rossetti from Animal Crossing.
It's so true. I should have
Yup.
said that.
Yeah,
Yup.
absolutely so freaky. He got so mad at you. Emma said Animal Crossing got wildly intense about not saving, which is true. Why do you care so much?
I know. Why are
It's
you yelling at me
scary.
about it?
And Megatron said when my DS died. And so I do remember like yeah, like especially on Wild World and New Leaf, it was like a handheld console. So there was always the risk that it would just straight up die. And it wasn't even your fault.
Yeah.
Purple Rose 350 said Enderman, which I agree with that. And also just
That's true.
Herobrine from these are from
Hero Brian.
Minecraft.
Oh, I should have talked about Hero Brian.
Oh.
Hero Brian also really scared me.
Uh-huh, me too. And
He still kind
then
of does. If I play Minecraft, I'm like still expecting to see him a little bit, to be honest.
Lexi Kincaid said the entirety of FNAF plagued me for years, which is also true. I think I
Yep.
speak for many of our listeners when I first learned about Markiplier from the first FNAF series and was like, this is so scary. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pablo Salmon says when the 100 seconds left timer went off in the Mario games, which is true. I would also say when you are like about to drown in like a Mario game or a Sonic game and the music changes.
Or in Wind Waker too.
Yeah, true. And it's like drowning music.
And it's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. He's
Yeah.
like literally dying.
Terrible. And then Aiden J. Sharp said the giant skeleton shark boss in Super Mario Galaxy. And I would just like to extend that to all water levels of every video game ever made. They are so scary.
Any water monster, honestly.
Yeah, they're so freaky. Skeleton shark.
Yeah, because
the water monsters in Where the Wild Things Are, scary. That's a book, not a video
I was
game.
gonna say in the book.
Scary. It's scary as a child.
That's why Subnautica is so scary for me.
The ocean
Because
in
water
general.
creatures, water monsters and creatures and like fictional monsters, the scariest thing ever, but it's such an unutilized like genre of like fear and horror. Like everybody go watch The Meg 2. That was the best movie ever. First of all. Second of all, we need more.
Was it though?
Because I want more creatures. I want a Leviathan movie. I want a Kraken movie. I want these things to be scaring.
Well, I was gonna say the problem with current water horror is that they all just focus on sharks. And sharks
it's all sharks.
are not actually inherently that dangerous of animals. And Jaws was super damaging to the global shark population. Did you know that?
Exactly. And guess what? In the Meg 2, there's also a Kraken and a bunch of Megs. So go watch the freaking Meg 2. I'm serious.
Meg 2,
the Meg
Ram
1,
Tranch.
I thought the Meg Ram Tranch. Yes, I thought the Meg 1 was good. It was garbage when you watched the Meg 2.
Dang.
Because that movie was crazy. It was everything we wanted it to be and more. So but it's like I guess like the CGI is really hard, but it's like we need to bring back practical effects someday.
I've seen
with
TikToks
monsters
of people playing like a video game where you have to swim away from this really creepy lady, and I don't know what the video game is. It might be like it might be like Little Nightmares or something, or I don't know.
There is a Little Nightmares level where there's a monster, but are you talking like woodland or like sewers?
Like I don't know.
It's like a little guy and the lady is huge.
Yes.
It's that Mountain King.
Yes, Mountain King, something like that. It looks really cool.
It does. I was like,
that looks. I was like, this looks scary.
It's really I want to play that because it looks crazy and that
like
happens.
Song of the Mountain King, or it's not Hall of the Mountain King because that's the name of the song.
Mountain King game. Ramble the Mountain King.
Okay, I knew it had something with the Mountain King.
So yes, this is essentially. It looks very much like woodland version of Little Nightmares, which is
kind of that
a really good game.
Gameplay.
Yes, so I would love to play that game and talk about it sometime. Because that looks like I would be so into it.
Oxenfree 1 was scary.
True.
I bet Oxenfree 2 will be if I ever get it.
You know what's kind of scary? Danganronpa.
All
three. All right, well, that's this episode. We're at 1 hour and 2 minutes.
No.
So we will skip what we're playing because
it's our first video. We have to still do it.
Okay, what are you playing?
Oh, I thought you meant like our outro stuff. We don't have to do what are we playing.
I'm gonna do our outro.
I thought you were just gonna be like bye.
I've been playing Fire Emblem 3 houses, not Fire Emblem 3. Fire Emblem 3 houses. For the record.
I haven't really been playing anything, TBH. Sorry.
So, if you would like to join our Discord, that's in the episode description. If you would like to follow us on Instagram, it's at FakeGamerGirlsPod. I think that's our name on TikTok too.
Probably.
It's different on TikTok. It's different on Twitter.
On Twitter, which is defunct. We're never using that again.
Yep.
If you want a shirt that says Certified Fake Gamer Girl that looks like this, go to that is in our link tree and also in the description. And if you want to tell us what you're playing in our survey, that's in the episode description. And that's everything.
And stay cool, gamers.
Stay cool, gamers. Bye. Bye.